Most of us would not think that we're dehydrated, but you say it's quite common, and you refer to something as a body drought. Could you explain that?
Yeah, it's basically when there is a difference between the normal amounts of water inside a cell and the normal amounts of water outside the cell. And there's often a deficit inside the cell, and that deficit is basically body drought. So you become dehydrated without realizing. You may have normal amounts of fluid around, in your body. You may even think, oh, I have too much fluid in my body.
Right.
Like the legs are swelling, too much lymph fluid. So having that, it shows that there's actually dehydration going on. You're dehydrated and you put on water. Why do you hold on to water? Because the body is afraid that there's not enough. Just like when the body is trying to save your food, you will try to hold on because there's a shortage of it. So it's like the body is trying to save and slow the metabolism, because burning too much food too fast because there's not enough coming in, it would
like
cause
slowing your
problems.
metabolism.
Yes. So the dehydration can be caused by a lot of things. Not drinking enough water, for example. How many people drink water?
Good question.
Nowadays. So you see a lot of people drinking all kinds of things, like coffee, tea, sodas.
Right.
All of them are dehydrators.
Sports drinks. Yeah.
Sport drinks. Anything that has sugar in it will dehydrate, because it is a contaminant. The body is trying to defend itself. It's an acid. So the body will defend itself. Caffeine, for example, is a nerve toxin. So nerve toxins require water to transport it out of the system. So for every cup of coffee, your body will have to give up about 3 cups of water. Where is the water coming from?
The
from the cells. So then you're putting in all that water into the blood so that it can take out the caffeine, and then the cells become dehydrated. You don't realize that, and you drink more coffee because you're thirsty, or drink another Coke or something that has caffeine in, or a sports drink, or the new drinks that have 4 times more caffeine than even Coke has in it.
Right.
And people get stimulated. Whatever stimulates you dehydrates you.
And so we're dehydrated on a cellular level, is what you're saying.
Yes, that is the most important one, because the extracellular fluid is very important, but that is only dehydrated when you're in the desert for like a couple of days, and you become like a prune. You dry out like a prune. But the dehydration that we are talking about is cellular drought.
Okay.
And that is the most important to remedy.
That's the distinction.
Yes, and look at the elderly population. They often forget to drink because the thirst signal is no longer reaching the brain.
Okay.
The brain needs to be informed by enzymes that the cells send along into the bloodstream, into the brain, and say, hey, we need water. But they're no longer getting that because they're already so dehydrated that the signal doesn't even make it there. And so it's very, very crucial. And they're taking drugs. Medical drugs always dehydrate. So whenever you take any antibiotic or anything, you will develop dehydration. And anything that is harmful in the body uses up a lot of water to get rid of it. So
to flush it out.
Yes. Now, meat, fish, chicken, any animal proteins use up most of the body's reserves of water. So it's just like when you when you make meat, when you produce meat, the amount of water that is used to raise one cow is absolutely astronomical. And similarly, to process the meat inside the body is astronomical. It's like so much water is used up simply to get rid of the undigested. Yeah, and there's no fiber in it, in meat. Right. So it always causes congestion. So it's not conducive to bowel movement. And once you have a constipation or incomplete bowel movement, you already become dehydrated, because you have your waste products moving up. They block the absorption of water from the large intestine, which is supposed to go to the kidneys. So you are no longer you're delivering the water that even if you drink water, then it's not actually making it to the cells. So people are becoming dehydrated even if they drink enough water, when they eat certain kinds of foods that are congesting them.
Okay, so it's the congestion.
And then typically after a while, that water that they extra drink will be accumulating in their ankles, in their feet, in their face, under the chin, in their eyes, swollen eye bags, these. So, and then cysts in the ovaries and other places, water cysts are very common. So your body will hold on to as much fluid as it can. The kidneys will try to eliminate less water so that to save water.
So
that shuts down the kidneys.
So body drought then is a major cause of disease.
It is a major cause. Blood pressure many forms of blood pressure can be remedied by drinking enough water.
And you say in your book that starting to heal the process, the first most important thing you can do is to hydrate yourself.
Yes, without it, you don't have enough digestive secretions. You have 1.5 quarts of bile, which is mostly water, right?
Right.
Gastrointestinal juices, stomach acid, all those secretions are water, with 90% of water. Your eyes are made of water, 99% of it is water. You think it is solid, you can touch it, but it's basically solid water. It's emulsified. Okay. So you have, and then the body, 70% of the body is water. Now you take 20% out of that equation, the body is dumping or reducing many of its normal functions that it needs to be healthy. So you can expect that the blood pressure will have to go up. The walls have to become tighter in order to move the same amount of nutrients with the same force through the system, because now you have less water in the blood.
Okay.
So you need greater pressure in order to push it through. So if you drink more water, then the blood pressure can relax.
That's really
it's
crucial.
It's a simple thing, but it's it's so simple. Maybe people, I need to have a drug to thin my blood. Why not use water to thin your blood? It's a blood thinner.
Wow.
So they take diuretics to get rid of the excess fluid. Now when you do that, your body is even running out of more. So you have less congestion, you feel better. But if you don't change the root cause of the problem, you are causing severe damage to the heart. That's why blood thinners are a leading cause of heart disease. They think they prevent it. It's the opposite. There's a new study to show if you lower blood pressure artificially with drugs, you increase your risk of heart attack.
But if you drink enough water, you can avert some of that.
Absolutely. And the kidneys, you are very much involved with blood pressure. So if the kidneys are relaxed and they do their job and they don't have to become tight and their blood vessel walls are thin, then they are doing their normal job in keeping the fluid balance intact in the body, because they are responsible for making sure you don't have too much fluid and too little fluid. And if they become dehydrated themselves and the urine becomes more scanty and more concentrated and more yellow, so you can see by the color of your urine whether you are dehydrated or not. If your urine becomes too much yellow and too often, and it doesn't get into the sort of light color, little greenish yellowish, that is fine, but it should not be dark yellow. The first one in the morning is dark because your kidneys are working between 2 and 6 more than any other time, so create a lot more concentrated urine than at any other time. So you get rid of that by drinking a glass of warm water, ideally, another glass of warm water with some lemon and some honey in it, and it will rehydrate you very beautifully, and then have another 6 glasses of water during the day, away from food though.
Okay. Well, thank you for that advice.
You're welcome.